If you play games, chances are that you've played GTA. It could be GTA 5, it can be GTA 4, GTA Vice City, hell maybe you've even played one of the Red Dead Redemption games, like me. These games were made and published by Rockstar Games, based in New York City and established in December 1998 and known for some of the best games ever made. Unlike a lot of other game companies, Rockstar takes its time. It's sweet time if it comes to releasing games. For reference, GTA 5 has been out since 2013. Although this started off on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, this game is still very old, and might I say, it looks mighty good for its age. And although there's something to say about GTA Online and the way they earned revenue with it, one cannot deny that Rockstar Games puts out maybe the best quality in gaming. Blizzard used to be up there, but we all know what happened to Blizzard. Now, I have been kind of growing obsessed with Rockstar Games over the last few years, and I have noticed a pattern in every single game that I've played. From Red Dead Redemption 1 to GTA Vice City, GTA 4, GTA San Andreas, GTA 5, and of course, Red Dead Redemption 2. There is a pattern in the way they tell stories and some message that they are trying to tell you, but some people are just blatantly ignoring it. Now, I don't think they are just ignoring it. I do think it is a little bit of ignorance that people just can't really do much about. But here is the underlying message of Rockstar Games. In Red Dead Redemption 2, we play a cowboy named Arthur Morgan. We follow the story of this man who, spoiler alert, gets sick in the end. The story takes place in the beautiful America in 1899. Around this time, it was civilization taking over the United States. Indian Americans were drawn out and their last pieces of land got truly stolen. Capitalism was truly forming. Racism was still a very big problem, like intensely big. And of course, most outlaws were also hunted down and destroyed if possible. Now there is a reason why all these civilized people in the game are villainized. It is because of Rockstar Games trying to tell you something with this story. When we meet Agent Milton for the first time, we get a pretty interesting conversation between our protagonist, Arthur Morgan, and Agent Milton.
Oh, I ain't gonna swing anyways, Agent
Milton.
You see, I haven't done anything wrong, aside from not playing the games to your rules.
Spare me the philosophy lesson. I've already heard it from Mac Callender.
Matt Callender.
He was pretty shot up by the time I got to him. So really, it was more of a mercy killing. Slow, but merciful.
You enjoy being a rich man's toy, do you?
I enjoy society, flaws and all. You people venerate savagery, and you will die. Savagely, all of you.
Oh, we're all gonna die, Agent.
Some of us sooner than others.
Arthur calling Agent Milton a rich man's toy is not just a play with words or an insult. He really does mean it. And he's right, that's what Agent Milton is essentially. In this game, in the society of this game, we at some point get to Saint Denis, which is supposed to be the most civilized city in the entirety of the map. Granted, some people do live very richly in luxury in Saint Denis, but most people in Saint Denis have a very awful life. If you look around at the east-south side of this city, you start seeing the flaws. Every corner you turn, there's some poor bastard crying for help, looking miserable, or whatever else is going on. The way Rockstar built this world is a very realistic view on how things might have been around that time, as well as a message to us, the viewer. There is never a true message of who is in charge. Not really. Except when you get to Saint Denis, where you are introduced to Angelo Bronte, which is the ruler of the city. No one voted for him, he isn't the mayor, he isn't, selected through monarchy. He's just the richest guy in town, so he controls things. When you get to roads, it's the Braithwaites and the Greys controlling every single piece of the land there. And there is never any other mention of some US president or minister or whoever else is in the government. We just know that Agent Milton was deployed by the United States government while being a part of the Pinkerton Detective Agency. There is not a single character who is in charge in any city who is goodwill in any way. We have Leviticus Cornwall being an absolutely terrible human being. The Mayor Strawberry is a weird, well, yeah, just a very special guy, let's be fair. And as I mentioned earlier, Bronte is not really a good guy. He's quite a dick, honestly. The game tells us that in that time, no one was in control except for the people who had money on their hands. If it was blood money or any other money, it would not matter. Whoever holds the money holds the cards. Perhaps this is a message of the rich being in control and not being really nice about it. Or maybe this is just a retelling of history. Granted, this game does really take place in a very, very long time ago, so it might just be accurate history. So, let's look at Grand Theft Auto 5 instead. If you thought Grand Theft Auto 5 was just a funny game with haha shooting and haha driving, then you are wrong. There is definitely a lesson in here. After the flashback robbery, which is, well, necessary for the context of Michael faking his death, we are introduced to Franklin. And the first thing we see him do is robbing cars. Yeah, it really does start with Grand Theft Auto. After racing against Lamar and getting away from the cops, we are introduced to our first rich asshole, Simon. And Simon makes getting rid of the US government's taxes and getting rich through crime seem really easy. And there is a reason for that. This happens throughout the game many times. We are introduced to rich people who got there through crimes. And you'd say that's just there for the context of the game, but perhaps once again, this is a message. The way a young criminal can immediately get up there with the rich people just by following some other rich people through crime truly does symbolize something. And let's not forget what Dave said.
Some of the government, some of it is pretty corrupt.
Hold up. Did you see that? What Rockstar is trying to tell here is that people know about a big part of the government being corrupt, and even though you could call me a conspiracy theorist for saying that, but it still probably is today. And the reaction that the gang has to those words, that symbolizes how the people react to it. See no evil, speak no evil, and hear no evil. This is intensely great writing. This is how to reflect realism on fiction in a funny way. Society constantly tells us to ignore certain things. Things that are important, but we don't really talk about that. A great example of this is Instagram. When you go on Instagram, you will find a lot, and I mean a lot of Joe Biden clips. And some of those Joe Biden clips is Joe Biden stumbling over his words and accidentally slurring up a sentence and making it sound really bad. Often, you will get a fact checker because of it, and a fact checker will tell you it's edited even though it very clearly is not. And this resembles the see no evil. The government is constantly trying to clear things up. Something that can be small, but still nonetheless gets cleared up. This is the see no evil of the United States. I don't know how, because I don't remember in 2013 people being cancelled for things they said. So GTA called it? They predicted it? Because we see Franklin symbolizing speak no evil, which you could link to people being cancelled over saying something on Twitter that they said, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It really doesn't matter, you will get cancelled either way. And obviously, the most obvious one, if you ask me, is hear no evil. When bad things happen, people don't want to know. People don't want to hear and they don't want to listen, and that's why Michael is putting his hands over his ears and symbolizes hear no evil. This, of course, is a joke coming from the gang itself, but it very clearly does symbolize something. And you can believe that Rockstar Games didn't mean it like that and that they were just kidding around and making fun of the FIB. But I'd like to see the bigger picture and think that they were truly criticizing the United States, which they do a lot. Patriotic people, leftish people, rich and self-entitled people, American television being incredibly sexualized, as well as many other references to the real world. And you're telling me that this is a game just for fun? GTA 5 is the perfect parody on the United States government. The way crime is so incredibly normalized in certain places and certain states, and how it's so easy to get rich there if you have the right tools. Now, Embo, why are you reading this far into a video game? It's just a video game, it can't be that deep, come on. I get where you're coming from, honestly, I really do. But in my opinion, and what I have come to discover over the last few years of playing Rockstar games are truly special. They are art, and art always has a deeper meaning. Most of the time it is subjective, but this does not feel subjective to me. This feels like a message, a warning, and I think the reason that they put so much time, so much effort and quality in their games is because they want that message to be delivered properly, to be delivered in a way where people will get it and not look at the game from a bad side, oh, this game doesn't feel right, this game doesn't look good, so I can't play it. They want you to play it, they want you to appreciate it, they want you to play it several times so that at some point you're gonna start to see the message. GTA 5 is not just a game about crime, it's a parody of the United States. It's a parody of everything that's wrong with it, and how that can turn into something really fun, but overall it just leads to suffering of many, many people. And of course you can choose to see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, or you can choose to keep on playing a cowboy and just shooting people instead. But I wanted to share my view on this, and maybe it changed your view on it. If you have anything to add to this, please leave a comment. I think this is a very cool idea and a cool concept that should be talked about more. It's a true message to society, and people don't really see it. They just talk about how Trevor was so funny in that one scene he killed a guy, or how it was so sad when Arthur Morgan died, which, yeah, it was. It really was. But anyway, I'll spare you all the tears that are left over from playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Instead, I'll end this video. If you want to subscribe and have more content like this, because this is the first time I've made something this deep, be sure to like as much as you can, or subscribe. How can you subscribe as much as you can? It doesn't quite work well. Anyway, I hope you have an amazing day, and on to the next video. See ya.